Well, welcome back to part 7 of the garden shed build. Guys, we're taking all the material and we're taking it out and we're going to build everything on the platform now, because the next wall going up is going to be the 12-footer. And it's not quite 12 foot. I'm going to explain that to you in a second here. But it's going to be way too heavy for me to transport from the driveway here all the way to the back. I'm doing this all by myself. So I'm going to build it out there. It's a flatter platform. I can do a lot better off out there than I can here. And I'll show you what I got set up here, and we'll get to cutting this board. So I'll show you what's going on here first. Okay, so this is a 12-footer, 2x4 by 12 feet. And of course, all you know in the construction business, there's no such thing as a 12-footer. They're always longer than 12. But so what we got here is, I have to make an adjustment because this is going in between two walls. So you got to subtract 7 inches. Then of course I've got a stud sticking here, 3.5 inches. And then I have 3/8 for my wall siding. So this is where this stud's going to go here. And then I'm going to have the one wall here, and same as on the other end. So you have to take an allowance for that, because if you don't, when you come to your first stud, you're going to be off. So you just can't go from the end here over 16, because you will be off on all your studs. So you got to go all the way along here. So I've marked them all out like I did in the last video. So I got them all marked out here where every one of these are going to go. And so now we get to the end here. So this is what I've done is, when you get a 12-foot stud, you're always going to have enough for one cut. So you just can't assume that these are 12 feet, because they're not. They always have a little bit more than the 12-foot. Looks like about 1/8 of an inch more, and that's enough to make your day a bad day when you're trying to fit that in there and you got that much too wide. So here is the 7 inches that I have to cut off here. Now it has to be cut off from the 12, not from the end. So then I'll cut it off right here, and this will be scrapped, this piece here. So just so I show you how I line that all up first. So let's get cutting to this right here. Okay, so I just put my square on here. Just hold it down tight. Makes a good edge for me to cut this with. And then we'll just buzz this off. Just like that. Okay, so I have 10 studs that I have to cut, like I did in the last video on my table saw here. I line it all up, then I use my chop saw. Boom. It's going to take me about 10 minutes, 1 minute a board just to chop them all off to the right length. Then I'll see you out on the deck, and we'll show you how easy this is to put together. And I'm going to explain a little bit more this time of how I do things. So I'll see you out there in the deck in a second. Well, here's the setup out here, guys. And I've just got my air compressor over here. And so you can see I've got my tensioners put in there. And this is going to be pretty easy to do. I'll just show you me doing the ends here at first. And then I'll explain a little bit more. But this does make a big difference holding that there. I know the professionals don't do this, but like I said, I'm not a professional. And this is helping me out immensely, making sure that the board's in there nice and tight. All I have to do is go over and just bang them nails in. So let's do that right now. Okay, let's just fire in some nails there. Let's go on to the other end. Okay, like I say, there's no holding any boards, there's no doing nothing. Just bang, bang. There it is, that easy. Well, I got her all framed up. I got all the studs put in there, all nailed in. And guys, I decided to get myself a new chalk line here. I'll show you the other one I got here. I've been using this well over 30 years. And it's actually made out of metal, still a Stanley. But you know what, guys, it's getting old. And I decided, you know what, I'll upgrade. So I got this one here. Guys, it was only like 10 bucks. I'll try it out. But it's something that you really need. I like to put in my cross supports really kind of precise, and I make 2 chalk lines. I'll show you how I do it, and I'll explain first what you have to do before you even think about doing this. So let's go out to the platform here. I'll show you the wall. It's all done. I haven't got the cross supports in yet. I'll show you what you got to do first. Well guys, before we get started, I put this all together and I was just surprised. I mean, for 10 bucks. Guys, it's got like a nice little door here. You can just open it up, put your chalk in there, and it's got a claw on the end here, 10 times better than the old one. For $10, I'm saying this is 10 times better. But yeah, I like the idea because the other one you couldn't see if you had any chalk in there or not. And yeah, I've run into situations where I go somewhere, there's no chalk in there. So, okay, I'll show you what's going on here. Well, there it is right there. And you could see my my 2x4 untwister. I made that during the winter time. And on that one there, yeah, she was pretty twisted. And all you do, guys, just come over here and just press on the bar. And there's so much weight there that it straightens the stud right out. You can just hold it while you're banging the nails. If you want, to put a link down below there if you guys want to make one yourself. And that's from an old crowbar I had. It was a cheap crowbar, but I reused it for this. And it come in handy because you're never going to get studs that are all perfectly straight. You're going to get some that twist on you. But I'm going to show you over here. The first thing you have to do is square up your corners. So you get your tape measure and you go from this side over to that side, and same on the other way. You go right across and you just bang in the ends until it's exactly the same all the way around. You have to do that first before you put your cross supports in. And what I do all the time is I always have my 2 standard numbers, which is 48 and 42. And what I do is I just use them 2 numbers and take my chalk line and I just snap a chalk line along there. If you guys never seen how a chalk line works, well, I'm going to show you right now. Okay guys, you could see I got it on the far end there, and the markings are at the other end, the same as on this end. And you just bring it right tight until it matches your mark you got here. Just make it nice and tight. You just pick it up here, and that's it. Now you've got a mark all the way along there. And guys, you do the same on the other one here. Then I'll show you how I stagger in the studs, and that's as easy as that. Well, there we go. We got all the center supports in. And as you can see, you don't got to go crazy, but you just have to make sure that it's in the center of each one of them. You know, the chalk line will be close enough. And as you move on to the end here, I'll just explain something to you here. You're going to need a clamp, you know, because everything's going to be loose in there, and a nice little bit of a wedge is nice too. And I make sure I square it up with a small little machinist T-square. I like it all to be square and everything. Well, that's her right there, guys. What do you think? I think it's looks okay, and as long as you square it up first before you put your center supports in, you should be fine. Like I say, I like to put a clamp in just to hold them together before I nail it. All these things you don't have to do, but it's a little frustrating, you know, if you don't clamp everything up, because it can get away on you real fast. But in part 8, I'm going to have the whole building up. I'm not going to bother showing you any more of the construction part of it. And I'll go over some of the details of when I put it all together. All the walls will be up the next time in part 8. So thanks for joining me here today. If you haven't seen this channel before, you're welcome to subscribe. Come back again, guys. Let's have some more fun.